It's time for Godkiller Gamedev Sundays. Godkiller Gamedev Sunday is happening right now. Oh my God. I can't even believe it. Well, I can believe it. I can believe it. Hey, I'm Eric. This is Godkiller Gamedev Sundays. I don't know why I like saying that so much. Godkiller Gamedev Sunday. But this is about making a game called the Godkiller. Been working on it for a while now. And let's see. So the game is a 3D top-down puzzle-solving adventure game. There's a lot of story to it. There's a character, which is a pair of floating hands, and I've been working pretty hard on a set of hand gestures, or basically there's a tool I've made which allows editing these animations for the hand, these floating hands. Let me switch over to that screen so you can just see that. And this is not going to be a live coding session, as is my tradition on Sundays at this time right now, which is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You might be watching a video and it could be a different time. But if you're watching it live, that's what time it is. So the tradition is I don't do live coding sessions on Sunday, but I do other aspects of game development which don't involve writing code. So I'll still be working on the game. On this session, I intend to try out a new algorithm I've designed for handling the hand animations. I thought about it a little bit, and I realized that most of the animation, or most of the movements that I want to happen in the animation are just little bumps. When you're talking, I'll even like watch my hand while I'm talking. I'll try not to make myself self-conscious while I do it, but when you talk, or at least when certain people do, you have your hand in a certain position. There's little bumps to it. There's little bumps. They tend to be on words that are kind of important to you. I'm cheating a little bit, and by the way, I've made the mistake of like looking at myself while I'm talking with my hands. Okay, hand gestures. My theory is that a good way to make hand gestures is they have bumps on the words, which is what you're seeing now, and then add to that kind of like changes to the positions of the hand every now and then. So I've got audio analysis, which goes in, and now that I've said like how I think hands are supposed to work, I've become self-conscious of my hand movements, and it's actually screwing up my ability to do something as simple as move my hands while I'm talking. But I'll get over that. It won't take me too long. Okay, so the algorithm that I've got now is that the audio is analyzed for peaks. And then I take the highest peaks and use those as places where by default there'll be a bump, which is just the hand going up a little bit and then back down, up and down real quick. I have some settings for the bumps where I can tweak them a little bit. Now, any one of these sorry. I've got like this tail end of a cold, which is just a cough, and it's been plaguing me for like 3-4 weeks now. Okay, so any of these let me think of a name for them, so I don't have to keep on thinking about what to call them. I'm going to call them bump points. No, because sometimes there'll be a bump, sometimes there'll be a gesture. I'll call them gesture points. Okay, so any of these gesture points, by default it'll be a bump, but I can replace the bump with an animation or a gesture, which is a predefined animation. So here's what it looks like when it's just all bumps.
M you are special.
Oh, sorry.
I say that.
There's a little bug that makes it so that I have to tweak something for it to work. Okay.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Okay. So that's what it looks like when it's all bumps. I can adjust like the frequency and spacing of the bumps as well, or the gesture points. If I have a defined gesture that has been mapped to a code, I can say, like, for one of them, I want that gesture to play. So I have one called, I'll just call it D. And if I play it, the second line here is going to play a gesture animation instead of the bump.
M, you are special.
It wasn't a very good gesture. One of the things I wanted to do with this session is come up with some more deliberate gestures. And I kind of walked through this line a few times with my hands and just kind of figured out what I thought might be some good gestures to have while talking. So I'm going to create some gestures. I'm going to apply them to this line and see how well my algorithm works. And I'm certainly happy if anyone else is watching to explain what I'm doing. Also, I don't intend to be in this hand animation stuff forever. The point of all of this is not to make a cool tool or to play around with hand animations. The point of this is to make something useful for the game. So after I'm satisfied that the gesture animator tool is doing what it needs to do, I will return to the game and use the stuff from the gesture animator in it. And then you'll see things like working on levels and having these hands float around with gestures, but inside of the game instead of in the tool here. So let me make some gestures. First I'll kind of show you with my own body what I'm trying to pull off. So the line is M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but you truly are extra special. By the way, how are you feeling? Okay, so that's the line. So I thought, M, you, I can do a point towards the character, are special. Kind of a magical opening up of the hands, a little flourish there. Then I say that to all of my creatures, moving my hands in one direction, and then there's a turn in the dialogue. So he says, but at that point, come back the other way, but you truly are extra special. And then, then there's that one line. I have great plans for you, raising the hands up. By the way, palms up, how are you feeling? So those are the gestures that I plan to go with it. And I'll just make them individually, and then I can kind of map them in. So if I go to my hands over here, there's some controls off to the left, off to the right, I mean. Oops, I should remember not to put this on my big fat head. Let's put it back to the work window. Okay, so there's controls off to the right, and I can define all the individual gestures that will go into that line. I think this will be a session where I use a cough drop so that people are not having to listen to me cough that often. If anyone is worried about my health, this is a thing I've talked to my doctor about. Some people, just after colds or certain types of sicknesses, have a kind of a prolonged recovery, like with their lungs. I thought, well, should I be worried? I asked her, and she says, nah, it's no big deal. So don't worry about me. I checked it out. Okay. So the first one I had was hands forward, outstretched a little bit. Okay. Call it double forward. And I'll give it a code of A. No, I'll never remember that. Forward. Okay. And let me make so. Make these outstretched a little bit more. So in the game, you usually see the hands looking down, and almost all of the time, actually, because the game enforces a top-down camera view. So while it might be more natural to see the hands as though you were sitting across from the character and they were like aimed towards you, this is the point of view that's consistent with the game. Okay, so add a keyframe for that. Okay. I'm thinking if I want any more frames to this. I don't think so. I think it can just be like a one frame gesture. Okay, the next one that, let me save that one. The next one that I know about is pointing. So I'll call this one right point. I'll call it right U. The code will be Y for U. So for pointing, it's the index finger way out and the other finger's in. Is it better to have this pointing all the way out? No, that's like a little bit double jointed there. So I'll leave it like that. And I know that the way that the character works in the game is that it will always be turned to point towards M, who would typically be in the center over here. So that means to me that I want to do that a little bit. There we go. I think let's outstretch the other hand a little bit. I think by moving it down a tiny bit like that, it helps draw attention to the pointing hand. So I think that works. Okay, I'll save that. Okay, so it was M. You are, and then special, I wanted to open up the hands kind of in a magical way. So I'll create a new gesture called magical. It occurs to me I could have a little bit of twinkling at the top of the palm raise too. M. Okay. So then the lift will be like up like that and that. Okay, this one is a multi-keyframe gesture. So let's add the first keyframe. Okay, then I will extend the fingers a little bit more. So let's do a lift a little bit more. Okay, I'll start the twinkling gesture here, which is really just, actually when I do it with my own hands, I noticed that the way I was going to do it is not actually very easy to do. So I was going to do it like alternating fingers, switching back and forth, but that's really hard to do. And if something's really hard to do, it's probably not a very natural hand motion. But the one that is natural is to like do a little wave with your fingers. You probably cannot see that at all. Let's see. Here, I'll show on the big stupid head view. Okay. So first I was trying to do something like alternating fingers, but you can't twinkle your fingers fast like that. So I'm going to do instead like a wave. I have a lot of confidence that I will be able to do it. Maybe I shouldn't have that much confidence, but I do. Set these back, and then I think, if I was doing that wave, would I start with the index finger or the pinky? Pinky. Interesting. The natural thing is to start with my pinky. Okay, so move the pinky up. Okay. Add a keyframe for that. We'll put that one at the 1/10 of a second mark. Okay, and then move ring finger up next. I guess a thing with hands too is that they tend to pull along the other fingers at the same time. So I'll move the middle up a little bit. Like it's really hard to like completely independently move a finger without also moving the one next to it as well at the same time. Okay, so okay. So the pinky immediately starts coming down a little bit, but it's not fully back to where it was. Okay, add a keyframe, that's 2/10 of a second. Okay, now it's the ring finger's turn to be, not the ring fingers, the middle finger's turn to be the peak of the wave. Peak of the wave, middle finger. Middle finger. Okay. Index has to come up a little bit. Index has to come up a little bit because no finger is an island. Ring finger goes down a little bit. Pinky, I'm going to set it all the way back to 0. So it's like it's returned to normal already. Okay. Let that be the 0.3 of a second mark. Okay. Then the index finger. Index finger becomes the new peak. Middle goes down a little bit. Ring goes to 0. Your peak time is over, ring finger. Middle down a little. Ring to 0. Okay. With the index finger going up, that means, let me see, if I do it with myself, yeah, it does affect the thumb a little bit. So thumb, I'm going to have come up a tiny bit to match this movement of the index finger. And then add that keyframe at 0.4 of a second. Okay, so then I'll do the thumb. Okay. Thumb. But I'm not going to have it go way up because when I did my own check on my own hand, my thumb didn't go up that much. Index down a little bit. Middle finger to 0. Index down a bit. Middle to 0. Add the keyframe. 0.5. Okay, now I'm going to just go to the scrubber and see what that actually looks like. Pretty good. Now, the nature of these gestures is they will go on as long as they have space to be inserted before like the next event that comes. I could make this be just like a continuous twinkle. I could add like some more frames for the wave. I think I'll keep it a simple flourish. Okay, so then let's. Okay, I think I'll add one more keyframe. And that will be to have the. I'll add 2 more keyframes. That'll be just to come to rest with the wave, with the twinkle. Then let's add one more to bring the thumb to rest, and this is one that might get truncated, by just moving on to the next gesture insertion point or gesture point in the animation, but it's okay. Okay. No, this is 0.7. So if I look at this, it's looks pretty good to me. Save magical. Let's call it something a little less flamboyant. I'll call it small flourish. Let me stick with magical. It's easier to remember. I like stuff that I can remember easily. Okay, so save magic. So I just made 3 gestures. I kind of want to see how well they do. So let me try this out a little bit. I think I'm going to need more points in here, so I'm going to add some more. Can do it by setting the frequency of gestures. I have a gestures per second. I can increase that. Say we on average want 2 gestures every second. Okay. Okay, so let me go back and think about what are my codes. There's Y is for you. F is for double forward. M is for magic. Okay, so let me hit play. Let me save. Save. All right. So start this out with F for double forward, and then it was like M, and then I think the next, the third one I think is U. You are special. Did I want to do special on? Okay, you are. Okay, let's do M for that. Okay.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special.
Okay, it seemed like I'm missing the Y. Let me see what my code was for that. Should be there. Oh, it looks like maybe I forgot to save you. Okay. So let's try this again.
M, you are special. I say that.
Okay. Alright, let's get this in here again. Index. These guys clenched. And let's see. Left is going to dip down a little bit. So that right is emphasized, and that seems pretty good. I'll have it point down a little bit because M is usually down. And let's clench in a little bit on this. And what is, maybe the thumb looks better out. Yeah, it does. Okay. This time I want to save that. Oh, I have to add the keyframe. That's probably what I forgot last time. Okay, save that. So then if I go to magical, come back to write U. So like this whole thing here I wrote, so I have like a little bit of dubiousness about it losing data and stuff like that. Like this whole thing is, I wrote a lot of code here to do this, if I'm honest. Okay, so let's try this again. So it was F U, and then I think this is R, and that's probably special right. This is probably special right here. So skip over one and then do magic on that. But then, just so it looks like something normal, I want it to go back to let's see. So this is magic here, special, and over here want it to go back to maybe I'll just have it go back to basic. Basic is just the hands left and right facing forward. So let's see what that looks like.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but M, you are special.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. I'm going to agonize over this just a little bit more because I don't want to miss what might be wrong about it in these initial moments. After a while, I just get used to it, whatever way it is, and I can't see what's wrong.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but...
So I'm wondering, like, does that motion to U seem too abrupt?
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but M, you are special. I say that to all my M, you are special. I say that to all my...
I think it's okay. I think it's even like, okay, so it's gonna be a little bit, I'll call it mimey, because this character has nothing else but his hands to depict himself. They're gonna be on the over-expressive side. All right, I did not write any code to save this little text box yet. I'll do that later. But I'm going to take off to another screen that you can't see and just kind of copy and paste off of my Google Docs. And there, I pasted this little bit here so I don't have to keep fiddling with it each time I come back. That looks pretty good to me. I think I'm on the path. I'm gonna do it one more time.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures.
Okay, So then I'll just keep going with the other gestures. I'm just gonna probably I'll just make them all. And the other thing that I think I'll do here, well, I'll show you what I'm fiddling with. F equals double forward, Y equals right U, M, well, these are all lowercase. I might use uppercase for some different things along the way. M equals magical. Okay, that's my little cheat sheet. Right, so let's stop that and let's make the rest. So then I wanted it to he's gonna do this thing where he goes with his hands off to the left. I say that to all of my creatures. And then he'll go off to the right when he does the but, which is contrasting the two thoughts. I say that to all my creatures, but... Alright. So... And it's sacrilege to say this, I'm sure, but I'm stealing this move from Martin Luther King Jr. Because he precedes his points with these kind of like suspense hand gestures. Spring loads them. He spring loads with his hands. It's wonderful. Okay, so let's call this suspense left. Spring load pre-spring the problem is I'll have to make it like a ton of these gestures before it's all over, and I want to name them kind of well. Left to right, number 1. So let's do this. L. Okay. So then do the twist. Twist. And lift up. Okay, and this other one I'm going to have sort of point off. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay to have like one finger pointing up. And he's sort of like his other hand's just kind of, it's like almost playful. Like he's holding his point, he's getting ready to make it with his left hand. His right hand is just, I don't know. It like takes the stridency out of it. The right hand does. Okay, so this needs like an extra frame. So I'll add the first frame. Okay. for the next frame, I just want the right hand to do something. Think about it. Well, I think I got it. Turn it palm up or close to palm up. Okay. Lift up the finger a little bit. And let's just give the fingers a little bit of movement, a little bit of playfulness. And I say that to all my creatures. Okay. Add a keyframe. I'll have this one be 0.2 of a second in. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Okay. So left to right, number 1. I gotta give these things names I can remember. So we'll call this J for MLK Jr. I already used M and okay. Save that. Can't wait for all those MLK videos to go in the public domain. It will happen in my lifetime. It's coming. Okay, so then MLKJ number 2. And I don't know if I'm doing this like exactly like he did. I feel kind of like a dick now naming it that, but okay, so we'll say capital J is the number 2 one, and then we'll have the hands go the other direction. We'll keep the pointing. That was the left hand was pointing before, so I'll keep that. The nice thing about my code is it's going to handle all the tweening between the different gestures. Okay, so I believe that is the keyframe. Do I want to lift that much, or should it go down a little bit? Okay. Add the keyframe. Save it. Okay, so number 1. Number 1 is like this. Okay. Number 2, go off to the right like that. Okay. Okay, so then, so the line was, I say that about all my creatures, but you truly are extra special. Then, next line is, I have great plans for you. So I wanted the hands to go up, palms up. I think just as simple as 2 palms up is gonna get me there. Okay, so let me just make sure I'm recording my codes. Got J equals MLK number 1, J equals MLK number 2. Okay, and then I'll make T equals triumphant palms. Gotta give things names you can remember that have some kind of meaning. I could just call them double palms up, but yeah. Okay. So let's do. Make sure that's. I saved it. Did I save it? I'll save it again. Okay. Triumphant palms. And these ones are just lifted up. I think more extended. Okay. T. Add a keyframe. I think this one can just be a single frame. Save that one. Okay. I have great plans for you. And then he changes his tone to more personal and caring. By the way, how are you feeling? I'm thinking, by the way, bring his 2 hands together. And then, how are you feeling? Outstretched, palms up, sort of a kind of a generous gesture. Okay. By the way, let's call that one something. Call it balled together. And that one can be B. Oh, B is already taken. Is that true? Oh, I made one called a bird earlier. I should just get rid of that one. But for now, I'll do B, capital B. Okay, this is maybe a more interesting one to do. So I will make one of the hands into a fist. And let's I gotta move these two closer together. I think I gotta go down with this. Whenever I do things where the two hands interact or are close to each other, those ones take a little more tweaking, a little more time to get it right. But it's not too hard. But I do want to check it from other angles besides the one being shown here, because I don't want the meshes to go through each other, because there'll be some angle that is shown at that just doesn't look very good. And I can go to my scene view to check that out. So here's like a side view of the same thing. That's not bad. That's not bad already. It's looking real. But let me see if I can get them a little bit closer. Move that thumb out. That should let me move the hand down a little bit more. See where it disappears in the other hand. That's what I don't want to do. So from there, I move that more that way. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Maybe, okay, get that out of the mesh, fine. If I get this other one where it's just barely touching it, that would be ideal. There we go. Let's see what I can do over here. Okay, so what does it look like from game view? Yeah, that's good. Okay, balled together. That's what that one is. I suppose I could be they're clasping, really. Clasped. Change that to a C. Add the keyframe, don't forget that. Save it. So this is going to be C. Okay, and the last one, I think this is the last gesture I have to make. Then I just try them all out with the audio. That one is the generous gesture. Okay, so new generous G. Palms up. Palms up. Palms up. And gotta give them a little angle, maybe? Huh, I don't know. Something about them doesn't look quite right to me. Maybe. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Okay. Outstretch a little more. I'm getting excited because I'm going to put all these together in one thing in just a moment. Okay. I think that's good. They should be a little bit loose. They shouldn't be like emphatic. Like if I have them all the way outstretched, that's more like someone pleading with you. But a little bit loose, outstretched. I think that is correct. Okay, add the keyframe, save it. Okay, generous. Stupid Google Docs keeps changing my capitalization. Generous. Okay. So let me just make sure I saved all these correctly. Clasps together. Good. Triumphant palms. Good. MLK number 1. MLK number 2. U. Magical. Double forward. Bird one I'll just show you. It's kind of weird. I like this. So it's like if you wanted the two hands to act like a creepy monster, you just put them together like this. They can fly across the room, sort of, with this motion. But anyways, I'm not on that right now. So let's try this out. Try it out. Try it out. Try it out. And
M.
Okay, so then fix this one little glitch.
M.
Okay, cool. So here's where I say for each of these yellow lines which specific animation I would like to play there. And let me put this someplace where it doesn't, where I can continuously refer to it. Oh, hey Riffield, I'm sorry, I had my chat window away for a little bit. Nice to have you here. Thanks. The Spectrum bar. It's made out of. It's amplitude, so it's based on RMS, which is averaging the samples over a bit of time. Okay, so FM 0. So if I'm here, okay, F, bump, Y, bump, M, magic hands, bump, and I went to 0 here, but this should be instead where I think I go to my MLK Jr. number 1 gesture. So it is a little bit tricky for me to map these lines to this text down here. If I keep going with this algorithm, if I prove it, then I'll write some nicer ways to do it. So it was F bump, Y bump, M for magical bump, and then J here is, okay, this is where the character's going. I say that about all my creatures, which is probably this section here, which means 3 bumps I go past. 2. And then I do the second MLK Junior gesture. And it's going to be hard for me to figure out the position of these. Okay. I say that about all my creatures. And here. But you truly are special. And then over here is, I have great plans for you. So from here it's 1, 2, 3, 4 bumps, and then the triumphant palms. So let's go. I'm probably not going to get these exactly right the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then triumphant palms, 2 bumps. I have great plans for you. Okay, and then we start in with clasped hands, where he says, by the way, I think that's this first section here, which has 2 bumps to it. Okay, or 2 gesture points. So 1 bump there, and then how are you feeling, which would be the generous. Alright, now I'm going to try it all together. Let's see what it does.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Huh. I think I got the timing right the first time. I gotta look at this again and just see. Like, it looks good, but also messed up at the same time. I'm trying to figure out what's bugging me precisely.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
I think I know what it is. Too many bumps. Too many bumps. I think I want a way to suppress bumps, so they'd be there by default, but then I could have like a certain character, like maybe an underscore or a space, that would mean just don't bump there. Just let it be a time when the hand doesn't move. So the bumps are those little raise and dip things that happen on the lines if I don't have a gesture assigned to it. Every place where there's a period corresponds to a bump, which is one of these yellow lines. I'm going to play it again.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
I don't know. Feeling good about it. The hand motions are really quick and a little bit I don't know, it kind of reminded me of 90s animation with say Johnny Bravo, where it's like suddenly in all these keyframes really quick. I do have some things to play with here, though. I can there's this thing called a ramp time, and I can adjust that. I'll do like a really long ramp time just to see the logical extreme. Oh, god damn it! I forgot to copy. That text, and I just overwrote it. Damn it. Okay. I'll put this back in again. I do need a better system that retains this stuff better. Because like when I made an adjustment to this, it just wiped out all this stuff here. There's kind of a reason for it to do that, but it wasn't the thing I would have liked to have happened. So this is, at least I did this one time before. It won't take me as long now. So this is MLK Jr. He says, okay. I say that to all my creatures, 3 bumps. But you are truly special. But you are truly special. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by triumphant palms for I have great plans for you. followed by 2 bumps for, by the way, 1 bump, generous palms. How are you feeling? Okay, so then let me copy that. And let's play it again with the longer ramp time. So the ramp time is when a gesture's playing. There's a certain amount of time where it tweens between the last gesture that was animated and the next one. I increased it. It should make it like a little more smooth. Actually, this should make it like too smooth. Let's try it.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Okay. So that was interesting to me. So I had it at 0.1. 0.5 was too smooth for my taste. Let's try 0.3. That'll wipe out this here. But I can take my clipboard and I can paste it back in.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
I think I like that better. It's the best thing I've seen so far, but I think 0.2 might look better. I'm going to try 0.3 one more time because there's a little bit of work to redo it. So I might as well try it one more time.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Okay. Change the ramp time to 0.2, 0.2 of a second. I'm hoping this is like the best one.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Okay. 0.2 is better than 0.1. So 0.2 of a second for the ramp time, which is the transition from one gesture to another, how long it takes. I could reduce the bump amount instead of. That might actually be good. Let me try that.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra.
Every time I change one of the settings, I have to paste this in. Okay.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Okay, let me reduce it even further.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I almost got this, even without doing that suppressing bumps thing. Okay, so then let's go with bump amount just even a little bit smaller.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
I think that's it. I don't have to suppress the bumps. Just make them really small. And it's good. I'm happy with this result. I know that it's not entirely perfect. But I don't, like I said, it was never my goal to make the perfect hand animation tool. No. I wanted to reach a certain level. I wanted a practical way to generate these hand animations without a lot of time going into them. So yeah, I think this is it. This is it. These will work fine.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
Yeah, okay. That's it. That's it. So, I know that, like, sometimes when I make adjustments to the inspector and then I'm in play mode, I lose them, so I just copied them now. So I'm at unplay. Okay, and then I'll paste these back in. Alright, so that retains my adjustments there. So let me think about it. So next steps, and I won't do that in this session. This session was about the hand animations and showing how that worked. But my next steps would be just a little more work on the gesture editor so that it's workable for efficiently creating these animations for just a large number of lines. For the viewer that just joined, I'm about ready to stop the stream, but I will play one demo for you. It is. So this is a hand animation tool, and I'm sharing with you a moment where a whole bunch of work came to fruition. And oops, let's do that.
M, you are special. I say that to all my creatures, but truly, you are extra special. I have great plans for you. By the way, how are you feeling?
So that's it. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm up to. And I just figured out how to make these animations semi-automatically. A lot of the movements that come with the hand are just generated automatically by analysis of the audio file that played the dialogue. And then I go in, and at certain points, these insertion points here, I say I want a specific animation to play there. And I've got some that I define. There's that you saw, but they're like little pieces that go into the hand animation at certain points. So that's it. And I'm going to stop the stream now. I like to stop right after I finish doing something successfully. And this is that time. Boom. Stopping the stream.